Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv Show. And, you know, there's just so much to talk about in the world today. There's just so much happening. And of course, it's always been a big world. So I'm not going to say, well, it's because of the internet that this is happening. We're getting more of what's happening out in the world because we have the technology to receive messages in live time. But for me, I try to tune out a lot of it. But yesterday, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who I consider a brother. And this conversation has been ongoing. We can title it different ways. We can dress it up different ways. We can say we have no unity. And the way I chose to frame this topic today is who stole Black unity? Who stole it? Because we damn sure don't have it. And I've made my peace with not having it. Because in 2025, and if you happen to hear this in 2026, 27, 28, and beyond, I'm sad to say that it's probably going to be the same situation. And I put these two iconic faces on the thumbnail for a reason. Because they were friends. And at some point, Muhammad Ali chose to distance himself because of his affiliation with the Nation of Islam when Malcolm X was split from there. Well, he was excommunicated, basically. Certain were important in his walk. And I believe Muhammad Ali later on said that he was saddened by his decision because of his allegiance to the Nation of Islam. But we live and we learn. But let's think about when they were friends and what that time represented in our history and how we're so far removed from this right now. NFN Shaka, Landon Price, welcome on in. I'm glad to see you here. It's going to be a good one. If for some reason I blank out and there's an electrical problem, just stand by and I'll be back in about 90 seconds. But so far, so good. And anybody in the chat room, just let everybody else know that. Matthew White, welcome on in. Always good to see you, brother. But that time represented something, and that is the time that tree who's tall and it has its root. It's those times in our history where my feet are rooted in. I was born in this era. And as I grew up, the flavoring of that era, the smoke, the righteous smoke that I inhaled, it's part of me. So I may have been born in 63 and Malcolm X assassinated in 65 and Muhammad Ali won the title in 64. You don't forget too quickly when you see the magazines of that time on your coffee table when you come into consciousness and you have parents that guide you and teach you about what's going on. So that's my era. A lot of people come into their consciousness 20 years, 30 years afterward, but I wasn't fully, I was a child. But the imagery, the conversations, and being in Manhattan, born there, born across the street in the hospital where Malcolm X was rolled over to after he was assassinated, right there. The Audubon Theater is not there anymore, but before they tore it down, I remember it quite well and what it meant. Those same streets in Harlem where Muhammad Ali would walk through amongst the people. I can't say that I saw him, but I heard. At the barbershops, and they still call him Cassius Clay sometimes. Cassius Clay was down on 125th Street. So I identify with that. And that's a world so far removed from what it is today with us. I don't expect everything to remain the same. No. But at least have some semblance and honor and reverence for the time gone by that we're supposed to be connected to. But it's almost like we're not even connected to that time at all. Not at all. It's like we have nothing to do with it. I can't see the logical trajectory from then till now. Yes, we had envy in the Black community. Yes, we had jealousy. Yes, we had people who didn't even care. But for the most part, we had a common thread throughout all of us when it came down to it. And that's what I was born in. Ugly sides. I saw the drug usage. I saw the heroin addicts. I saw prostitutes. But even then, if you were a drug addict or a prostitute, you would find yourself in a place of respect when it came time for dealing with our elders, and when it came time to deal with each other. And I don't like what I see now, and I haven't liked it for a long time. And now that I'm of age, I see the same things happening in America and where I live in Ghana. And it's a different way here. But I'll have to say, even many from the diaspora who come here carry the same disease that's in America overall. And this is why I choose to move solo, away from those who carry a toxic spirit, and build a legacy that anybody can benefit from these little conversations that we have in my little corner of cyberspace. But I'm done. But I will point things out. And I will give you that feel of being back in that time when you're with me. But to seek out people and be disappointed 99 times out of 100, can't do it anymore. If you're real, you will rise to the surface. But the conversation that we had yesterday touched on so many different topics. You see? Oh, yes, I will, Landon. We're going to warm up on this one. We spoke in America, race, and people being deported back to Latin countries. We had a real conversation about that. How many from that community are upset that we don't defend them and fight for them. Keep it real when it comes to the 10. No disrespect to my Latino brothers and sisters, but I know living in Florida, lots of times, especially Miami, when you're on these jobs, they don't pay you no mind. They don't look at you as though you're an equal, only if it's advantageous to them. But otherwise, you're shut out. They snitch on you to get you fired, or lie about you or what you've done to get you fired, to get one of them in, but yet you want us to fight for you. But we now seem to want to fight for everybody else, if we do. And many of us are getting smarter to not fight somebody else's battle who doesn't pay us any mind, especially when they've come to the U.S. to benefit from all the Black people they're here for. Which doesn't mean that others can't enjoy what we fought for, but at least tip your hat and give a little acknowledgement. Don't take what we fought for there and turn it around and act like we had nothing to do with what you enjoy. Now, the flip side of that is how we are divided as a people globally. There are many who may identify with the many splintered groups that I feel are designed to keep us separate, whether it's FBA, ADOS, or the Black Indigenous Movement. But we are one. And these things don't bring unity. And how do you slice us up when we should have more of a global unity and reject the poisons that were put in our mind against each other? And we're going to get into that. But if your organization doesn't bring you to a unified front, like Malcolm X many years ago, Stokely Carmichael, so many others, we want a unified front. And how can we be unified when we're splintered up off of a foolish title? Because we're scared that somebody else might come here and get reparations. For the most part, Black people in America, you ain't never getting no reparations. And I hope you do, because I'll have my hand stretched out also. My mother was in America. How many hundred years in her bloodline? I don't know, because we can't go back that far. My father was born in Jamaica with a Ghanaian lineage. So how does that split me up? Does that not make me a foundational Black America, or because of my father, I'm not included in America when I had to endure the same pain? See, because the bottom line is, if you Black, whether you are born in America or Africa or Brazil, when you come to America, you're all one thing to most, and that's NIGGERS. And others who don't want to be associated with us because they're taught that we're lazy in America. We don't want to work. We have babies and don't want to take care of the babies. And yes, there are some of us who fit that narrative, yes. But that's not all of us. It's disproportionate in how we are portrayed. Because the so-called dominant people who are losing their status quickly because of their low birth rates, they want to have everybody turned against us because they sure as hell fear our unity. And what's sad is that we bite the bait and we go along with it, and your oppressor doesn't even have to lift a damn finger because everybody's turned against you, with exceptions, of course. But for the most part, overall, we dance to the beat of that oppressive drummer. And he's kicking back laughing. As they say, the KKK doesn't have to do much work in 2025 because we're doing it for them. Trust and believe social media was created the control of our mind, not just us, but us. The control of the minds of the world, while those who pull the strings are laughing from the shadows as we bicker and argue and fuss with each other. I've never seen anything like it, and it's so obvious. The men turned against the women. Black men, oh, the Black woman's no good. Black women, I don't want to be with a Black man. They're no good. And they get behind and rally up in these groups. And we're so preoccupied with identifying with those who feel our same pain, so to say. But if you had dealt with a limited number of people and you had bad experiences, well, you're going to lean toward that. But it's a big world out here. So we're controlled from so many different areas. And Black people in America used to have stronger unity We once stood together. We fought side by side, marched together, and built strong communities. I remember this. And we accepted each other. We didn't look. We saw commonality and we rolled with it. Like I told you before, as a child, I remember on Lenox Avenue in Manhattan, and it was maybe 142nd, 143rd Street. I can't recall exactly, but I can see it clear as day. My mother and I were at this church. It was a program, and she was going to sing at this program, a pretty huge church. And we were outside, and there were two members of the Nation of Islam walking down the street, and they had their newspaper, Muhammad Speaks, that they were selling. That's the precursor to the Final Call. That's how far back my memory goes. And so these brothers were sharp in their suits and their bow tie and their hats on. It was Sunday morning. They greeted people. They sold papers as they came down. And it was such an attractant, not on some old twisted level, but you couldn't help but look at them. It's like a little child who gets a comic book and sees the muscles and how strong the superhero is. These were the superheroes that we saw dotting the landscape, Harlem, New York, and beyond. So as they walked up closer, there was also at the same time a woman getting out of a cab, not a cheap cab. It was probably, I'd say, a Lincoln Town Car, one of the older ones. And before, or as soon as she got one foot out of the door, she was in the back seat. The cab driver was coming around to open the door for her, but she already opened the door. And the two brothers said, "It's okay, brother. You can sit down. We got this." And I'm thinking, like, what's going on here? They walked over, opened the door for the elderly lady who was going to the church service, and they greeted her, and I saw her hand reach up, and they helped her up out of the vehicle. Now, she was strong enough to walk on her own, but you could see where she was weak. So they closed the door, and they both got a hold of each arm in arm on each side, and walked this lady to the church. Walked down the aisle, because I moved over to see. I was curious. And they walked her all the way to the front seat in this huge church, because they greeted everybody, they bowed respectfully, and everybody in there, they were praising the Lord and "Thank you, brothers," and "We love you," and "We love you back," and they walked out. Two different religions. Welcome on in, Riri. Welcome on in. Every now and then I will glance over to the chat room, so if I miss you, I'll catch up. But that had an impact on my psyche, as many things have growing up in that rich time. This had to be the late 60s. And my mother told me that no matter what your way of worship and belief, that we're all still brothers and sisters no matter what. And we had to treat each other with respect. And I looked up at him. One of them winked at me and smiled. I said, "Good morning, little brother." I said, "Good morning." And I felt so good to be black. I know what was going on in the world because my father and mother would sit me down and let me know what's going on. But within that community, my heart swelled with love. And I wanted to be like those men. I wanted to be that. But how are the young kids today are going to want to be anything when they show grown men in dresses with makeup? Show grown men holding guns and saying they're thugs and selling drugs, which that's not all of us. Kudos to the ones who live good and do the right thing. And they're good examples. But your enemy floods these images in the media and on social media for mind control. And so I asked the question again, who stole Black unity? We're going to answer that before this is over. My own father, who was a superhero to me, and many people in my neighborhood growing up, the camaraderie, the jokes, the sharing of food, even with people that you hardly knew, the universal love. I know that world. I'm lonely in this world as it is, with the people who are clout chasers and want attention for the wrong reasons. And it's not about the whole, it's about self. Dog eat dog world. I'm not saying you're going to get your paycheck and go sprinkle it out like confetti after the World Series game, right? No, it's not even just about money. It's about how we treat each other. And if I see this kind of thing inside of you against your sisters and brothers, I don't want to be bothered with you. And many people say, well, Lance, you can't hold a grudge. I don't hold grudges. I get rid of anything that may be inside of me in my heart, because that means the opposition won. Whether it's something that came from a white person, a Black person, Latino, I just don't go there anymore. You are cut off. Now you have to protect it. Now you have to connect with those who are like-minded, because everybody who talks revolution, everybody who talks community, everybody who talks about the Creator and all this, it's a sham 9 times out of 10. I know that from experience. I'm not here to name names of things from my own experience. One day I will when I write that book. But let me tell you something. The Black world is in bad shape. Some of us can be celebrities and make the world feel that we're doing good because they're winning awards. But those are a drop in the bucket. Overall, with the over 1 trillion or 1 point whatever trillion dollars that we have in America, doesn't mean nothing. It's like I said before, if we're given reparations, everybody else is going to benefit. Every other race of people with the mind that we have is going to benefit from it. You know why? Because we're going to bring that money right on down to the car dealership where the person who owns it doesn't look like us. The Asians are going to be so happy in America. The Korean hair establishments, the Chinese restaurants, Japanese folk, we're going to bring our money right to them. Indians from India who own the donut shops and the newsstands and other businesses, they're going to be overjoyed because they're going to receive our reparations because of our ignorance, because we don't think about community. We don't think about building anything. But who stole Black unity? We're divided. We argue over where we come from, what labels to use, and who is more authentic. Meanwhile, we face the same pain, the same struggles, and the same system that wants to keep us apart. Ain't that something? Today we have different groups, like I mentioned before. FBA, ADOS, Pan-Africanists, Indigenous Blacks, and so much more. Trust me, there will be about 5 more to add to that list before this year is over. Ain't it something? Many of them spend more time debating and attacking each other than solving the problems we all share, who are melanated. Maybe we won't know, but it's been proven that Africa is the cradle of civilization, and it's also proven we're the original people of the world. That's all I need to know. What childlike behavior we have. It's unacceptable. These divisions weaken us. They are not natural. but they are not accidents. They are the result of years of outside forces working against our unity. Some people want to make sure we never come together as one. Because unity means power. When Black people unite, we build schools, businesses, movements, and strong families. We change the world when we're organized and focused. Our spending power in America right now alone is over $1.7 trillion a year. We got churches on every corner. We give money to the churches, but they ain't doing a damn thing about our condition. Maybe some, but they're far and few between. With that kind of money, if used wisely, could build hospitals, own media networks, and fund real change. But that would mean going around the system, not begging it for help. And history shows time and time again that this system does not want that. We don't need to wait for reparations. We, as I always say, we are our own reparations. We have the skills, the money, the talent, and the global connections, especially with Africa. But we turn our back on Africa to do things for ourselves. Africa is rising. All major countries know this. That is why they invest there. Yet we are kept away from that relationship. We are told we don't belong, or that Africa does not want us. These lies are not just random, they are part of the larger plan. So when you have these so-called social media influencers, we're not part of Africa, we're FBA, we're ADOS, we're this, we're not part. Memorandum 46 dictates that that's the agenda. And you're saying to yourself, what are you talking about, Memorandum 46? Well, I always kind of shove it down the throats of people so they can see. I'm going to mention that later on, but I'm going to drop a link of Memorandum 46 inside the chat room like I always do. You can read that later. The copy pasted back in the late 70s, designed to keep us apart. See, the masses weren't supposed to see that document. But if you see this thing and you still think it's an illusion, then give up, because that's the agenda for us. But then again, this is not just about the past, it's about now. Propaganda, media, social media lies, and government programs are still working hard to keep us confused. And there's no doubt in my mind that we're a confused people. Not all of us, but the majority of us. Even when we pretend to be so educated, we're so twisted in our mind. They divide our leaders, discredit our thinkers, and push toxic messages that tell us we are enemies of one another. So we must ask again, who stole Black unity? Let's get historical. I wrote down some facts in my research and I want to just share them. And it's so much more. There's so much more. So when I read down my list, you might say, oh, you didn't talk. Listen, if I was going to talk about the attacks on Black unity in America, this live stream would go into 2030. It'll be too long, trust me. Number one, the counterintelligence program. This FBI program was created to stop Black movements. It targeted Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, the Nation of Islam, and especially the Black Panther Party, and so much more. It used lies, spying, and fake letters to turn people against each other and cause chaos within the movement. That's a fact. The destruction of Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. Tulsa, Oklahoma had a rich Black community called Greenwood, known as Black Wall Street. It was burned down by white mobs with help from law enforcement and the government. The message was clear. Black success and unity would not be tolerated. And I say this today, Black success and unity will not be tolerated unless we, the government, control it. It's always been that way. And if you're independent, they'll let you get but so far before they come to attack you. The assassination of Malcolm X, 1965. Malcolm X was moving toward uniting African Americans with Africa and building international alliances. He was killed soon after, making strong Pan-African connections. Many believe government forces helped create confusion and division, leading to his death. Okay? That's a fact. The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968. I was young. I was 5 years old when that happened. I just turned 5. Oh, dudes got out there, people started talking, and I got scared. You know what I mean? You're a little 5 years old. Like, what's going on? I'm thinking that there's people coming with guns to kill all of us. When in essence, they are. They just don't use guns, right? King had shifted focus from civil rights to economic justice and was planning the Poor People's Campaign. He began talking about real power and unity among all oppressed groups. His growing reach made him too dangerous for those in power. The rise of crack cocaine in the 1980s. Oh, how I remember that so well. Crack was pumped into Black neighborhoods, while harsh laws locked up Black men. It tore apart families and communities. Later, government involvement in the drug trade through CIA-backed operations, like in Nicaragua, was exposed. You love this government so much. You're so patriotic for this government. I'm not saying to hate, but are you going to love your enemy and turn around and hate yourself? That's what I don't understand. The welfare system's no man in the house rules. Welfare programs created rules that discouraged fathers from living with their families. This broke apart the Black family structure, weakening our foundation and making unity inside the home harder to build. Then you had the feminist movement. We don't need men. We had the foolish Black sisters who ran with that, which that was a white woman thing. But she ain't leaving her husband a white woman. She's just making a little fuss to get a little more of the corporate pie. But those of us who need our fathers or needed our fathers who fell for this trap. Now, with the crack epidemic coming through, when those same children are a little older, can't you see over the decades how they keep dropping bombs on us? Another one is the infiltration of the Black Panther Party. The Black Panthers were not just about defense. They ran free breakfast programs, medical clinics, and community schools. The government saw this as dangerous and used informants, fake news stories as they do now, and police raids to destroy them from the inside. Whenever you see any search come with the Black Panthers, in the images, all you see is them holding weaponry. Because we do have the right to defend ourselves, especially in the world that it is now and even back then. But nobody talks about the good that you do, because Black love is unacceptable. Let me just throw this one on in there. Heterosexual Black love is unacceptable. They push every other thing. Interracial, homosexual, lesbian, this and that. Well, how are you going to procreate when you're pushing your penis in another man's anus? How are you going to do that? Giant game, my sister. Welcome on in. Welcome on in, sister. I was looking for you. The attack on Marcus Garvey in the UNIA. Garvey inspired millions, and he did this without social media, y'all. He inspired millions with his Back to Africa movement and pushed for Black economic independence way back when. He was arrested and deported based on shaky charges. And his movement was shut down because it gave Black people pride and global vision. And way back in the middle 70s, I will never forget it. There was an older woman who lived across the street, Jamaican woman. And her husband went to school in Jamaica in the 1920s with my father. And they recognized each other, although they were so much older. And she was part of the Garvey UNIA movement. And she was so impressed that I knew about so many different things, didn't know. She went across the street back to her house because she was like family to us. And she sat me down on the front porch and showed me the actual papers. And she had it in like a Ziploc bag, sealed off, and it was still yellow. It had aged a little bit, and she got smart and said, hey, I better preserve it so it doesn't deteriorate. And my very hand, she took it out the plastic, touched those papers, and she was explaining everything about it. Well organized. I couldn't tell you exactly verbatim what it was. But look at a Marcus Garvey, who with no social media as we know it, inspired millions, had ships, had a plan. Of course they had to destroy him and discredit him. Even the Malcolm X, and I'm picking several, it could be Martin Luther King Jr., it could be Malcolm X, it could be this one. He didn't have a Facebook page. He wasn't asking for likes, and he wouldn't. And if you wanted to donate to something that he was doing, he was not going to sit there and say, hit the cash app, hit the cash app, hit the cash app. And I have to bring it up. You know what's going on online right now. And you know who I'm talking about. He wants to build a school. But now he admitted himself that he was messing around with some woman, and the way so disrespectful he put his business out there, put her business out there, ego out of control, no school in sight, millions of dollars given. Compare that to the real leaders who lost their lives, and it wasn't about getting up under skirts. It wasn't about just getting money so you can travel around and speak well. He speaks well. He knows his stuff in a professional level, but the heart and the intention, this is what you got to look at. There's so many of us who are charismatic with words, who call themselves leaders or infer it, will take your money and they ain't doing a damn thing. Oh, I wish I could speak on many of these YouTubers who I've known well and know people who know them well. I'm telling you, I don't want to be considered part of that. That's my own thing. Who's cool here with me? Come on and we talk. But my whole, can't do it. Don't even group me in that. And like you have Memorandum 46, I dropped it in the comments section. This U.S. government document discussed African Americans in Africa. It says such unity would threaten U.S. interests and influence. It advised monitoring Black leaders and media to stop Pan-African connections. So you think this document that was intercepted and made public back in the late 70s, you think they changed that now? Do you think possibly one of the benefits of creating social media was that the government could monitor, especially after the Patriot Act, like in 2001 after the World Trade Center attacks? We have no privacy, and we have these mechanisms now these platforms where if we don't say anything publicly that's controversial, we're DMing, direct messaging, voicemailing, right? Email. Trust me. That's the counterintelligence program's biggest wet dream. All this stuff to watch you, what you really think, what you're really saying, right? And the analogy I use is that person who may be a little older, not much to do, and they cut their lawn every week. But halfway through the week, if they see one or two blades of grass sticking up higher over the rest, they don't wait till the next weekend to cut the grass. They go out there now. So what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Well, basically, these factions of government, whistleblowers, and Benedict Arnold's turncoats are looking over the horizon for any strong Black voice that could possibly unify us, who will work tirelessly to get the message out and do, whether they're a leader per se, or they're a person who is a part of the community that wants to do their part with their own influence. They look at you like that blade of grass sticking up. And that older person goes out there in the middle of the week with the lawnmower, running the lawnmower just to cut down that blade of grass so it doesn't stick up higher than the rest of the grass and influence the grass to grow more. So any true righteous influencer is going to be looked at. What they do now, because of social media, they will approach you. They will not say, oh, hi, I'm the government. We're the government, and we want to compromise your message. We will open up the algorithms, and you don't have to make any effort. We will insert your channel on the list of millions of people without you raising a finger. The rest of you Black people will see the high numbers and go running to them, thinking that they're truly saying something because they're so popular and it's paper thin. It was someone here who we know well by name. She hasn't been on in a while because she's been busy. She's been listening. But she did a Patreon show with a very popular YouTuber that runs a news channel that you all know. And it was something she was involved with that she wanted to put out to the world. And she felt that, well, this person has over 1 million active subscribers. Brought about 15 people into that Patreon. What does that tell you? It is well established. But across the board, you got to understand, and I know this specifically in my dealings with different platforms and people that I've gotten to know behind the scenes who work at these platforms, and they tell me how these things go. You see? Bots and fake accounts are used to stir up division amongst Black groups. Online arguments over identity, heritage, and labels are often pushed by outside forces. Algorithms that are boosting negative content that will keep us distracted and divided. It's manipulated. But they'll manipulate some to be never seen. They'll manipulate some to kill their channels. There's a young lady here in Ghana right now who, she never speaks revolutionary. Her lane is not that. She speaks about relationships, and she's very, very popular. And I do like her. But they've taken her content on YouTube, which is already very popular. I believe she has over 1 million subscribers that she built up over the years. And they're taking her content and they're reposting it under different channel names. She actually did a video, I think it was about 2 days ago, about what's really happening with her, because I saw the content title. I said, no, she couldn't be talking about this. So filthy, right? I mean, okay, between a man and a woman, we do things, we like things, we enjoy things. I know I do. But she would never have a title about when you lick a woman's vagina. Like, what is this? I quickly saw that it was not her original channel. And then she would say other things, sexual. Really? Okay, behind closed doors, consent adults, do what you do. You're human. I ain't mad at you. But kids watch this stuff, and it wasn't her. And I knew it wasn't her. But they took her content. She went to YouTube and has been complaining, and they never asked her anything back. They wanted to grade her content. And the people who are making these videos with her face, her style, taking her voice. Because I hope you know that with these programs, they have a program that you can purchase. And I mentioned this before. I can't do this. You'll know it's something fake if I did it. Go off the chain and just spontaneous. Right? But they got programs that you can speak into, and it records your voice. And once it records your voice, all you have to do is feed it some written content, and it will speak just like you, not like a robot, but with your natural voice inflections and how you get excited. If you stutter a little bit, it's uncanny. And there are a lot of content creators who are boosting up the amount of their content with this program. And there are other programs that do so much. So really and truly, you can die, not be breathing anymore, and somebody could take this and continue to make content. You can take the voice of famous people. I was going to do it as a joke and have Muhammad Ali saying how great this channel was, right? In his real voice. I said, no, I'm going to leave that stuff alone. So we don't know how we're manipulated on an artificial level to be against each other. See? But it's keeping us away from each other and hating on each other. And that's the new way. We can have a smile on our face and dislike our sister and brother. They can be making progress in some area of expertise. And we find a way to come at them. So this is why I choose to be isolated from those who are proven to be antagonistic and two-faced on what I do. Leave me alone. The biggest favor you can do is stay away. I only get down with the real. But see, Black people in America are not disunified by nature. They're kept that way. From the earliest days of slavery, when people from different tribes were forced not to speak their language, to modern days of fake social media beefs, the goal has been the same, dividing. And sadly, many of us fall for it. Because our unity is powerful. It scares those in control. If we ever unite again, and it seems bleak with each passing month, politically, economically, and socially, we'll change this country and the world. We must first wake up to how disunity was created in the face. Can't figure. Didn't happen overnight. It's been saturated in us for the longest time. It has been worked on, studied, and maintained. We have no clue. We do not have to stay in this condition. Every dollar we spend, every post we make, every group we support should help bring us together, not push us further apart. We should see our diversity as strength, not a reason to argue. FBA, ADOS, Pan-African, Indigenous, all of it can fit under one powerful goal, Black progress. But many of these groups are throwing off on different ones, insulting different ones, led by people who 15 years ago were talking about pimp stuff. Come on, man. Check the history of those who were always authentic. We must also look back to Africa. Some of you don't want to hear that. Whether we feel a strong connection or not, Africa's rising. It's rich in resources. It's amazing. We can't touch it. Young in population and growing in power. Black people across the world can benefit by linking with the motherland. That scares those who want to control us. But we must no longer be scared of our own strength. So again, as I said before and in the title, the question remains, who stole Black unity? The answer is complex, but the result is clear. It's time to take it back. But here's the thing. With us as Black people, melanated people, whatever you want to call us, you know who we are. Seeker, welcome on in. So much for being here. Yeah. But I don't know if we'll ever come together. It's not going to be 100%. We're all individuals. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different influences. Like I just said, we can be who we are. We can be connected, but let it be about Black progress. We all got the same common damn enemy, but we're looking at each other. Why is that? Like we're the enemy. And some of us are hateful to one another. I know people who have professed publicly that they hate me. They didn't say it publicly, but I mean publicly out to the world in the bullhorn, but they said it to people who came back. I'm like, for real? Wow. If you want to come in and say anything, feel free. There's a link right there in the chat room. You can come on in. Wrap it down soon, but you can come on in. We have a show tonight with Brother Malik Aziz, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time in Muslim Street. I'm going to try to fit one in before. And tomorrow evening or afternoon, depending on where you are, we have Metamorphosis, Brother Neil Frazier, speaking about the disruption of the circadian rhythms. Go to Lancescurv X and subscribe there and you'll get all the shows, even if YouTube doesn't put it out. I'm going to start pumping out more content and make sure. But I'm under no delusion. I know how this government is, the United States government, as they work with other governments all over the world to keep us at odds with each other on so many different levels. And the emotionalism that they know how to poke and stoke is real. Because we can be very emotional and lose focus on the goal of Black progress. And I think it's so sad. And he says, let me see, the evil takeover is real. I'm very weary about using what I'm coming to understand is just a demonic tool trained by Massa. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And how it slants things and how it stops us from thinking. It stops us from being creative. It's a base ritual, believe it or not. If they can cut us off from using that, just like a muscle that's not worked, it begins to shrink. And if we stop depending on our creativity, our imagination, and our connection to the divine, we'll truly be lost. Because we feel that we can punch something and get an answer real quick and trust the sources. Where did this thing come from? I've talked about that before, and I'll always continue to talk about that. We're so caught up just in our phones. We're not connected to each other. Like I always say, when was the last time you sat down and had a dinner, whether it was in a restaurant or somebody's house, even if you got fast food that's not good for you, and sit down and spend time with a friend or family or loved one, eye to eye? When was the last time you had a belly laugh with family or friends and you're holding your guts and you're in the living room falling all over the place and y'all are laughing for like 20 minutes? Your stomach is hurt and you got a lady on the couch or sit down. Oh man, oh, those are bonding times. There's something out there that doesn't want to see that with us. I've had those kind of laughs with Ghanaian brothers and sisters out here. And yes, I will tell you, The divisive energies are here that don't want to see us get together. So there's some who are not good who I won't deal with. I'm not going to say everybody out here is perfect. There's greed, there's jealousy, there's envy. See? I'd be lying to you if I said everything here was perfect that way. No. Just like anywhere else, you have to follow your spirit. Because there's an attack on us worldwide. Everywhere you go, we're easily identified. A homosexual who says he's gay can lower his voice and put some bass in it and pretend that he's not. But when you're melanated, you can't hide it. No matter how much bleaching cream you take a bath in, no matter how much you straighten your hair, no matter how much you break your nose with plastic surgery to make it a little more pointy, you ain't fooling nobody. It's evident who you are. Why don't you love yourself and embrace yourself? But who stole Black unity? I'm going to give you the answer right now. Ain't nobody stole it. Nobody stole Black unity from us. This is my opinion and my perspective. We allowed it to be taken. The tricks on us, the mind games on us, we allowed it to be taken. Huh? Like that woman who claims that she may have been violated by a man. And come to find out, she was down with the program, but when the world discovered what happened, she switched up and claimed that he was the one. Saying this in all situations with women. I'm not saying that because I respect women and the protection of women. Yes, I'm not saying every time that happens to a woman, she's lying. I'm saying there are cases like that. And with Black unity, we allow the enemy to take it. And we know how to get it back. But for some reason, it's gone on too far. If we get it back, our world changes instantaneously. Not months, not years, but instantly. Because I know when we want to do something, we get it done. But too much of what we want is so worldly, so immediate. We don't think long term. That's how we're rewired as a people. And I would never put other people above us. There are other cultures and races and ethnicities that are using righteous principles, even though they still have grievances amongst each other. You better not come into their world, their community, their country, and try to disrupt anything. Because they put those differences aside. And they gang up on your ass and run you up out of there. You think the Chinaman is going to put us over them? They got nothing to do with Africa. Nothing. But they over here. And we, who many of us have roots here, whether you claim it or not. See, with that, many of us are so in denial that it's like that family member who denies that that cousin of theirs is their cousin. They ain't no damn cousin of mine. And what they did back to me in 1996, that ain't my cousin. Yes, it is. If you choose to distance yourself, that's on you, but that's your cousin. If you choose to not acknowledge Africa, that don't mean it's not factual. We're mentally insane. We're delusional. We're out of our damn minds. But you got other races of people who are dealing with resources here for their profit, their country, Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, Lebanon, all in South America. I ain't got nothing to do with no Africa. Then throw your cell phone out. Because there are raw materials here in Africa that must be extracted from Africa, or you won't have a cell phone. So if you're against Africa, throw your phone out. You got the brothers that hold the phone more precious in their hand more than their own genitalia. If you had a choice of keeping one, you probably say, cut my stuff off. I'm going to keep my phone. That's how some of you men are so addicted, and some of you women too. That's just the way it is. Why is my phone going crazy? I'm going to have to shut this thing down again. Unbelievable. But yeah, will we ever come back? I wish after I transition on that I can go back in time and see how this plays out. But the enemy is working hard, and most of us are simply not aware of it. We're in our own worlds. Mad Guns Forever. Oh, come on in, brother. I got more stuff for you. I'm seeing Riri here. I did not. Sorry about that, my sister. Talk to me.
Hey. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hey, Lance. How you doing?
The floor is yours. Talk to us.
Oh, so I was seeing Landon talking about, the Clarissa and like beef and stuff that's going on online right now. And you talking about Umar. So I just wanted to chime in about that. Like, that was crazy. Yeah. That was crazy, that Umar thing, right? You seen?
Did you ever? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you happen to see his daughter online previously to him?
Oh yeah, she's followed in his footsteps in her own way.
But he hasn't addressed that, has he? Have you seen him address her in her video?
Yeah, I haven't seen all of them because she's putting out a whole lot of content, but I've seen several. And I'm like that little girl ready to jump double dutch. I'm waiting till the timing is right so I can get a better perspective before I share any opinions on that. But it's pretty much solidified from what I see.
Right. No, what I asked was, did he comment on her video? Or have you seen any comment he did on her video? Where he got on there after speaking about this woman.
No.
Me either.
He mentioned it and smoothed it over. But I don't think he really dedicated
anything to that.
Yeah, I don't think he. I didn't see anything from him all the way conclusive. He mentioned something, but he didn't go in yet all the way, as far as I know.
I see. And then, like I said in the chat, Landon was talking about Clarissa and the stuff that's going on with her and what's that girl, the other, the other rapper girl. I can't even say her name right now. But my thing I wanted to speak on with her is how they sexualizing her. Have you noticed that?
Big time.
Man, and like that's like the worst, because she's good how she was. You know what I mean? Her authentic self. Yeah. And then did you hear Layla said that she'll fight her? I'm not sure. I didn't hear it from her mouth, but I seen a post in regards to it, that she will fight her for a certain amount of money. Did you see that?
Yeah, she said the money's good. She'll fight her.
She has said it. Okay.
Where she's gung-ho to do. She said the money's good. There's a big age gap, and Layla has been out for a while. In boxing, it wouldn't be,
I know it wouldn't be a matchup, but she never wanted to fight her anyway. She wanted to mentor her and train her. And I don't know if you heard her speaking on an interview in regards to that. Heard Layla speaking in regards to wanting to train with Clarissa.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, remember, Clarissa right now, from what I see, is very much big-headed.
Yes,
she works hard to get where she is,
respect your
but
elders.
She's intoxicated with the attention she's getting, and it's all now about the tight skirts and the thongs at the weigh-ins and all of this stuff. And there's
how they always turn you out. They always turn ours out because they'll come out one way, and then next thing you know, they're selling sex. They say,
right?
Yeah. And then this whole thing with her getting with Papoose, that's weird. I'm not sure that matchup. What you think about it?
It's about control.
Exactly.
And then when they build you up and support you, they tear you down and air your
I
dirty
want you
laundry.
to speak on that, Lance, because I know you got the the knowledge on it. You can see what it is and explain it really well.
I'm gonna talk about that this week, probably the week coming in. Yeah, that's something good to talk about.
Hey, so Scurv family. Huh?
I was up, dealing with the two fights yesterday with Usyk and Manny Pacquiao. So I was up pretty late, and I
Oh,
jumped up early again. And yeah, I see that common thread through everything, no matter what area of
right.
expertise it's about.
Oh my
I can
God.
see that, and many people
Yeah,
was
yeah,
right over their head. And maybe there's things that go over my head, but I sit back and I watch, and that's why I don't really jump on topics right away. I want to see the full
yeah.
thing, and
Mm-hmm.
what I say, it makes perfect sense. Because there's a
Right.
lot
Yep.
of babble in social media that does nothing for you. It's like eating food that has no nutrition.
But they know they
You
falling
think you're
because
gonna get fed.
Babylon is falling. So they trying to do everything they can to stay alive. You know what I mean? But they dying. It's over. They got to move out the way and let the new world come in. But yeah, yeah, it was something else I was gonna say. Yeah. Um it's just been crazy, like all the stuff that's going on.
And it's gonna get crazier. But look how
That's what it is.
174 countries in the
Mm.
world have submitted to what the World Health Organization wants with the substances and
We're
the different jabs that they've agreed.
okay.
There'll be no resistance from 174 countries. All this stuff with Diddy, all this stuff with
Right.
Chris, all this stuff with all this other stuff going on. But why isn't this news pushed to us? It gets out there, but it's
Yeah.
under the
But we don't hear
radar.
about because I didn't hear about that. I was in 174
Right. We don't
countries
push it. And
and
and and when they have another engineered pandemic,
okay.
most are screwed if you live in those 174 countries, which probably includes Ghana, where I am.
Uh-oh. Does
But
it
they're gonna have to
include
find me.
it includes
I'm out to
America
set to
too?
find me. Say
Right,
it
right.
again.
I know, no, no. I said, does it include America too?
Oh, first and foremost.
Okay, yeah.
Why
It's like I
isn't it
said, we
news
haven't
then?
heard anything about it. Right.
Right.
Okay. So they
Also,
basically have done that again. Tried, allocating different things like that, and they voted on that. On
oh yeah, no, hook, line, and sinker.
what?
World Health
Yeah,
Organization has total
the World Health.
control when something goes
Hmm.
down, which shows me that
Right.
something is going to go down soon, but it's not like
Hmm.
before. You don't have a
Mm-mm.
choice.
Okay.
And they
Yeah.
used to strong on people with their jobs. So they said, if you want to keep working here, you got to take this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm out.
they
I'm
have it
out.
all set up now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, so I did hear, I have been hearing a little bit about that, but yeah, they're not even making that, putting that on the media and making that known either, that they've started doing that again and making these different laws, passing these different laws and everything. Yeah, that's crazy. They keeping that on the under too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, they're
Yeah.
carefully moving the pieces on the chessboard into position, slowly but surely. So when we look for a way out or look way for to avoid certain things, everything's gonna be locked in because they spoke about lockdowns that they can designate. They have so much power now, and basically
Hmm.
they run you. I don't mean they run YouTube as far as the
Oh
day to
yeah.
day,
They own it.
but
Right.
if the World Health Organization says something that YouTube is not supposed to be allowed for you to say,
Oh no,
there's
you
free
would get shut
speech.
down.
If you don't,
Hmm.
they shut you down.
Hmm. Shut
Trust me,
down.
several times I had community guideline strikes over stuff
Yep.
that I even inferred. I didn't even say it.
Hmm.
I
I
inferred
remember.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Knock your
Didn't even
channel
speak
for a
on it
week or
direct.
two and yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
They'll do that.
Hmm. That is definitely true. And even people on here, content creators on here, are saying that, like, say for instance, if you have different pages, and I know a lot of your pages have been kept getting taken down or what have you, and you had to
Oh yeah.
restart. They were saying that through YouTube, somebody working in there is like vetting those fake channels and stuff and making them like they the real channel where it says official, like it's officially you and it's your, that would have to actually have to come from you, but it didn't. So that means it's coming from the inside, you
Right.
know, to
Because they
verify
allow
your
these
channel.
channels.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, they control this. I mean,
Right.
we on here, we
And they make
using
it
it,
seem
but
like they have no idea. It's like this, right? When they took down the channel I had that had all the videos on it early last year,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was hacked into,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And I accidentally downloaded something on my computer and it infected my computer, right?
Mm.
It went straight to
Gotcha.
my Gmail and took over my channel and had a live stream on my channel and changed the header
What?
and the name. So when I
Wow.
contacted YouTube several times, they had me fill out
Uh-huh.
everything. I had all
Yeah.
my documentation and screenshots and stuff.
Right.
And the people who went in and did this, I had the email addresses, the communication, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept repetitiously telling me, well, do you
They,
remember your old passcode? I said, yes, I do. But
ha 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 ha.
they changed it. So I can't get in that
Yeah, they
anymore.
changed it.
YouTube, you have it. You
That's
can go in.
crazy.
We proved that
No.
this is some outside source. Now here's the catch 22. A little while ago, a couple months ago, on the site Lancescurv.com, which I'm migrating over to Lancescurv X. You still use Lancescurv.
Yeah, Lancescurv X.
I looked
Okay.
for the older posts, and they were embedded on Lancescurv. You can go there now with some of the older posts from years ago, and it says content removed due to community guidelines strike. No, it wasn't. I was hacked into. But now you're
Oh, and
saying,
they got it like it's
well, really,
legal.
you're the one who did it. It's like you paying somebody to put a hit on me to keep your hands clean.
Wow, because they won't
YouTube
tell
did
you.
that.
They won't let you get. They telling you, oh, what's your passcode, so they can't get to the person who's done this.
Right, but the password was changed immediately.
Right, I know, and they're telling you, oh, keep on acting like you didn't. I mean, like they didn't change it, and asking you for it, so they won't allow you to get to this person who hacked your channel.
But it was
They're
them.
stopping you.
But it was them. It was them.
That's what I mean. When they don't want it to lead to them to showing that they did it. In other words, exactly.
Well, let's go back a little further. Let's go back a little further. When I had Irritated Genie on the show, right? I didn't have him on YouTube. I had him on the other platform named Vimeo that I paid for. Right. And he said some controversial things, but nothing hateful. He revealed some truth. And we did a live stream on my site through Vimeo. Well, hours after the show, they contacted me and said, we don't need your business. Go find somewhere else to take your business.
Venmo did? Wow.
And the actual website was hacked into, and the widget where I would put my passcode was removed. They got into my site and put up pictures of animals and sailboats and gorillas. And I'm like, you see what I mean? So that faction that is attacking Palestine, the small hats, it's them all up and controlling everything. Trust me.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy too.
I won't say here. I'll say it elsewhere. But it's and I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of these people. Who wants to put in work and have it down? So that's why. And I salvage a lot of my old stuff too. So I'm good.
Good. Please, because your stuff was very. You know what I'm saying? That's you didn't lose everything that they took off the other channel, did you?
Well, I had it parked up other places. I have a lot of it salvaged over. But
good.
Some videos, I'm like,
all those shows, man.
No. I still have a lot of it. I still have to go through the whole thing of re-uploading them.
Put it together.
Everything.
Nice. Yeah. But I just wanted to make that clear. Like they controlling everything, when it comes to these channels, your numbers and, your subscribers, everything. You know what I mean? So they now you actually really, really see that they changing your passcodes. No way. Yeah, man. And so
that's reality.
Everybody need to know.
The whole psyop. This is mind control. They weren't nice when they put out social media. It's very convenient, right? But they gave it to you in the beginning, and we embraced it slowly. But it's still part of the counterintelligence program because they can go in and look at everything, tell our business, and we think it's private. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's being recorded and stored. Yeah, I just wanted to come in and chime in with you.
Thank you.
Catching you live. You're welcome. And hey to the family, everybody. Peace in the chat. Yeah, but I'm glad to talk to you, man. That's crazy though. I want to see your little perspective of it, of that Clarissa stuff. And like I said, Landon had mentioned it, so that was something I thought I'd bring up. They sexualizing her like that, and you know what I mean? No, she's a tom girl. She knows she don't like to dress like that and do all of that stuff and put all of that makeup and all that stuff. But that money and the fame and all of this, and they do control. That if you don't want to lose your position, you get to doing those things, even though it's not what you want to do. I know that's not
Right.
what she really want to do.
Somebody
Yeah,
approached her.
that's not
Somebody
her.
let her know, if you want to go higher, you got to do it this way.
And they either put him in there too, Papoose. I don't know how that came about. You feel me? And using him to do that, because why? If that's your woman, you won't want to have her out there like that. You gonna have your woman represented. I also want to say represented as, you know what I'm saying, very respectful woman, a woman. I wanted to say that Clarissa needs to be more respectful to Layla. That's your elder, and she ain't got no beef or no problem with you like that. She like her. She likes
Look how decent
Clarissa.
Laila Ali carries herself.
Girl,
And that's
ooh, I
when you
mean,
want to
man,
be.
she is, oh my God, my idol. She never went to no low level. You understand me? Always
Exactly.
the highest. So she need to take after that example. That's what she did. Now she do kind of remind me of Muhammad, because with her, you know, how Clarissa get down, but she
Right.
over he was never disrespectful like that. He had his disrespect. He the way he did his, it was never like her. She just be going, I don't know. She's younger than Muhammad was at the time when he came out or whatever. But when you're young and
Right.
immature still. But yeah. Hopefully she gonna grow and come out of that. Yeah, she got to come up out of that.
No doubt.
Hmm.
Because they
But I don't need to
influence so
take
many
over the
people.
show. I don't know if you want to.
No. We good. We good. We good. I'm
Yeah,
gonna grab a bite to eat in a
everybody's.
few.
I
And
can't really see the
come on.
chat. Everybody's still there. As
Yeah, they're still
far as
there.
Landon and Matthew and them, okay. So what they commenting on? What they saying? Speaking on
Well, we
anything?
pretty much of what we're saying now, you know.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I'm coming back in a little while. I'm gonna eat something. I have a few things to do. We have the show later
Okay.
on, Malika's Eve, and so I'm gonna, come up with a different
Yeah.
topic. But we definitely will talk about that during the week with Clarissa. We'll just sharpen
Okay.
up a few notes and
Cool.
stuff, you know. And
Right.
before it gets dark over here, it's three
Cause
seventeen in the afternoon. So after about six
they tainting
fifteen,
her
six
name, because
twenty,
I
we got
loved
dark.
her. Oh, I'm sorry. Finish that you said. I'm sorry.
I'm done. Say it again.
Oh, okay. I was saying, yeah, because they taking her name. That's cool. You'll talk about it, later on. You get into talking about that because they taking her image. I mean, I liked her. I liked her, but then when I seen her getting like disrespectful with Layla and things of that nature, then I'm like, okay, now come on, because you still got to build up your skills and get. And like Layla said, like she don't really feel that she ready to fight her, even though Layla too old to be fighting her.
Right. Right.
So yeah, but she ain't. Layla like, girl, you is not on my level. Not like that, but you're just not. You have not
Yeah.
matured. You have not been through what I've been through. And your skills can get up some. Layla says she good. She would like to train her, spar with her,
And not even
get her
just on
right,
the
get her
physical
right.
level, but to give a little sense to those forces that are making her sexualized.
Oh,
You know.
definitely. That need to go because it ain't looking cute. It don't look good on her. Like she not ugly, but that's just not. You know what I mean? As you can see that
Right.
it's a fake. It's a
Manufactured.
mirage. It's not her. I like to see her get back to herself. The goat, the quote, as she say. I mean, she riding the name, but yeah, that's all I want to say.
All right.
All right, Lance. You're
All right. You take care. Thank you so much. I'll just
welcome,
drop the link
Lance.
again.
Have a good
Sign off in
Sunday.
a second. Yeah.
All right, I'm still here
I'm
listening.
enjoying it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right now.
sweetheart.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Peace.
Have a good one.
All right. Peace. Yes. It was Sister Riri. I dropped the link again. I'm gonna get ready to head on out. I'll be back though. And we can't, before I go, I'll say it this way. We can't accept everything that we see on social media and in the world on the surface level. We have to have a Trojan horse mentality when things are offered to us, when there's some disruption or some beef, or when they're pushing one thing too much. What are they trying to keep us from seeing? But like I said before, going back with the original topic, nobody stole our unity. We let them take it. We allowed it to be taken. We allowed it to be taken. If something's precious to you, you're not letting it go. But over the decades, and really we can say over the last few hundred years, but now it's more intense. We've been devalued in each other's eyes. And just like with the situation with Clarissa Shields, excuse me for the tongue twist, she's getting sexualized publicly. And that's to affect all of the young ladies who, while they may not be attempting to become boxers, they might be athletes, and maybe somebody who's not even athletic, but they could be a fan and see how she pushes the envelope this way. Why does your backside have to be out during the weigh-in? Right? All of this ratchet behavior and going against your elders. Layla Ali is not old, but she's Clarissa's elder. And that's a backhanded way, really, it may seem subtle, to go against Muhammad Ali. Because I don't know if you could remember how there were many articles for several months put out about Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and so on and so forth. We know that they say that Martin Luther King had his affairs and different things, and I'm not going to excuse him for that. But I'm just going to say this. It's been proven that animals who feel death looming over their heads, they tend to want to procreate. I'm not saying on the spot. A rabbit's chased by a leopard and wants to just all of a sudden have sex. No, you're trying to get up on out of there. But when there's a constant threat of death, or even if it's not you afraid of having a bullet put in your head, but the doom and gloom, hopelessness, which is a form of death. Well, look at the so-called hoods where we occupy, because there are hoods that other races occupy also. But where there's a sense of hopelessness, dread, gloom, worthlessness, no future. But what do people sit around and do? Sex can be an escape. It's something you want to do when you have nothing else go on. People who have full lives and they have hope, dreams, visions, desires, a plan every day, a schedule that they're happy doing. They might go home at night and have sex. They might do it in the daytime. But your world is so full, and you're so happy to be achieving something in your life and have a sense of high esteem righteously. You know your value. This is where you have to be careful of the people who come around you who want to slowly devalue you. I had people tell me, oh, you live in Ghana now, you don't live in America, you need to stop what you're doing. You need to stop. And this comes from an idiot. People focusing on my platform and running around, his platform is going to die because I'm not on there. What? I got my own talents and an indestructible esteem, which is not based on any kind of narcissism. I'm built this way. My parents built me to be strong, and I'm not going to apologize for it. But we have to think of all the young girls and all the young boys who are melanated, who, for example, may see in this case a Clarissa Shields being sexualized, and that's the blueprint. That's all you're going to focus on when you get older. Well, the way to be accepted is to have my ass out. I mean, on a basic level, we as men, especially black men, excuse my French, but we love a beautiful ass. Is there anything new? I love your elbows, but I mean, you know, that thing look good. That's not all who you are. And that's what they want to have our youngsters think, that that's all you are. That as much as she's achieved in the sport of boxing, it's all about her ass and her weave and her winding up. You see what I mean? You see how complex this thing is? Are they going to have a small hat's wife put out there with her ass out? When the Queen of England was alive, did they have her with her ass out? Then why we gotta have our sisters with their ass out? Why? The conditioning of what we expect from our sisters, and we need to guard that. And the stamp of approval from a man who is a rapper, who's famous, that's to hit the men a certain way. This is the ideal. No, it's not. Your titties and your ass is for your man behind closed doors. Even though we have some perverse men who will only see you that way, and men see what you got. You can have a burlap sack on and they're gonna see what you got in their imagination. But they focus too much on that, you don't need to be bothered with them. Why are we always brought down to our lowest desires? And it's low desires when it's not attached to all of the attributes of a person. So when it gets to that point, it's a beautiful thing. Why? Why does it always have to be the lowest of the low? It's framed that way for us. But it's a beautiful thing, but you can't come from the lower desires first. You can't go to the restaurant and want to eat up slabs of cake before you eat the meal, because then you don't even want the meal. This is why the brothers, lots of times in their own wicked mind, don't want to be bothered with the sisters who are pushing themselves that way. A lot of them got the dessert, but I need to hang around for the meal. I don't care about her attributes. So we're like maggots on each other, eating each other up, literally. Literally. That's why it's so easy to go from one to the other. What you think you're gonna feel, man? You don't understand that when you're with a woman, I'll say with, and you know what I mean. What makes everything feel so righteous and so good is the attributes that she possesses. You're doing a physical thing behind closed doors. It feels good. She looks good. And she will always look good if you're into her, because your mind is focused. And when you're into doing what you're doing, what makes you climax is the fact that this is a good woman. She's a faithful woman. She's my woman. She's an intelligent woman. She's a dedicated woman. And that sends you off the edge because you know you're experiencing something that the world don't have their hands on. And every woman, if she's righteous, has that for her man when she meets the man. Now we know in the modern day, the woman thinks she meets the man and she might have dealt with somebody. She might have had some children, whatever it may be. But when your mind is right and you're moving about the earth on a high state of mind, that's what makes it so good. That's why, brothers, when you deal with this one and deal with that one and deal with this one, it diminishes. And you think the next one's gonna feel better. It ain't gonna feel better. Because you don't know this woman. You didn't invest in this woman. And you don't know she has the attributes of righteousness. You laying in the bed after you're done, she gets up and walks away. You're just looking at how beautiful she is. What makes her so beautiful is that she's yours. She's dedicated to you. And on the flip side, you have to give that to her. You don't want to be with no woman who's just going to make a deal with you for a few dollars just to explore the orifices, and you a total stranger. You see her in the supermarket 2 weeks from now, and you have nothing to say because you don't even know her. Never took place. That's why I made up the term glorified friction provider. And that's why we are taught on social media even more so. You get on Instagram and open it up. First thing you see is a butt in your face. Somebody's shaking up. If your woman wants to shake up for you behind closed doors, enjoy it. Get all into it. Get as freakish as you want, as long as you ain't hurting her. Do what you do. But we have to realize the effect it's having on the kids. It was a big thing back in the day. What was it, 1973? I ran across one of the magazines my brother had tucked away down in the basement. My mother was calling me, well, you've been in the basement so long. It's been 3 hours. You okay? It affected me. I'm seeing all of this. I'm like, wow, this is what happens. So now you got phones. You can click and go to a site and see anything you want to see. Truth. So when they get a hold of having the privacy and the agreement and they want to experiment, they're playing with fire. Because mentally they'll be messed up later on. Because your first experiences, whether it's good or bad or consensual or against your will affect you for the rest of your life. You think it's light? I can't erase the photo of Miss September out of my head. Miss September, 1973. I'm not saying that dominates my thoughts. I just never can forget that because my mind wasn't ready to see that. So we got to be careful. So when you see people walking around normal, acting, are they really somebody you want to deal with? What about their mental health? How do they see you? How do they deal with you? What is their history? What are you going to unearth in them that they never showed the world before because of how powerful you are? It's a lot to think about. I'm going to wrap it down, but I'm going to go back to what I said before. Dating, courting, engagement, and marriage. You meet somebody at the club and a week and a half after that, you married to them. You forgot all about dating, courting, engagement, and marriage. You pregnant from a man and don't even really know his last name. You've never been to his house or where he lives, but you're carrying his baby because of the frivolous, superficial things that you thought you were attracted to in the moment. And we're blasted with these images on social media. It's hard enough for grown people of age to handle it. How do you think the kid's gonna do? Little girls dressing up in ways to tempt a man that they should not even know. Where are you getting this information from? Huh? I've said it before and I'll say it again. When I used to drive the bus in Orlando, Florida, I used to overhear a ton of conversations. And there were these 12, 13, or 14-year-old girls wearing their school uniforms, the skirt with the plaid and everything. I don't think it was a Catholic school, but at a certain time, a lot of them would get on. And I couldn't believe what I heard, and I can't even repeat it the way they said it, but I'll say it where you'll know what they meant. They were comparing notes on how they pleased their grown-ass boyfriends that their mother and father don't know about. They were comparing notes on the tricks and talents that they have when they use their mouth. 12, 13, and 14. And they went on to say they had outfits that they wore while they were doing this to the man. How to roll their eyes up and suck their cheeks in and moan. All for an outfit at the mall and a trip to McDonald's. Who's turning these girls out? Who's turning these boys out? You got grown men turning little boys out. Grown men in positions of trust, trying to figure out how to get in on. They mess with the young girls, but they going after the boys. Pastors going after the boys. church services going on where in the bathroom, when the church service is hot and heavy, you'll have two dudes who go in the bathroom in a stall and do each other. That's how decadent it got. And it's always been that way. The things I've seen and picked up on. And we're not supposed to talk about those things because that's the house of the Lord. You think they thinking about that? That's being the house of the Lord, an English name? The Lord? You should reject that part anyway. No, you go in the church to meet up with this dude. You a dude, you want to get head from a dude in church. Who's dropping the ball? Who's dropping the ball? We talk about black unity. We got more things to deal with our dysfunctional selves. But you a troublemaker when you call it out. Because we want to protect the image of that uncle, of that pastor, of that high school football coach who takes interest in your son. Sitting up in a car park, in the park, discussing football tactics. But you drive by and you see the coach sitting by himself, but he ain't in it by himself. You just don't see the child's head. I've seen so much. I'm so sick and tired of it. Been sick and tired of it. But our unity can't be built on a shaky foundation. Can't be. It will never happen, and that will be us. Just like the Native Americans, diminished population. From Pacific to Atlantic, from Canada to Mexico. Diminished. High rates of alcoholism, beating their wives, drug use, hopelessness. It's a competition to see who can last on this earth. And as the original people, it would be a shame with our numbers and our intelligence and our brilliance and all the gifts that we've been given by the Creator, that we allow our unity to be taken. We allow it. You got down on your knees and spread eagle and let the oppressor right on in, and you gave it up like a punk in prison. We got to do better than that. I'm just going to have to be that grumpy old man who just calls it out. I have no time for foolishness. I've been doing this too long. I've been being me too long. I'd be a disgrace to my parents who took time with me to sit here and keep my mouth shut and let these things go on. But I can't do it by myself, so what am I going to do? Deal with those who are like-minded. But yes, I'm going to sign off now. And I'll be back. We have Malik's show later on, and I'm going to try to squeeze something in before that. Much love to you all. Take care, and thank you for hanging in on this live stream. We'll be more regimented and more in order shortly. Every day at a certain time, you know, we come on. And just like Sister Riri suggested the title, I'm receptive to speak about anything. It's not a topic I won't talk about. I'm not scared. I think you all know that about me. So anyway, Lancescurv out, on to the next one. It's been a pleasure as always. Peace.